Greetings and welcome to a new installment of Armored Core Requiem, the series where I take player-submitted builds and optimize them to the best of my abilities. I have been playing Armored Core 6 since it came out, and I've already created some of my own PvP builds, as well as I've upgraded some other players' builds. And so far, they have not disappointed. So if you have a build you would like me to take a look at, you can leave the share code in a comment if you are on Xbox, and you could just leave the list of parts and playstyle if you are not on Xbox. But yes, all is said, you have a good one. Now let's get on to the build. Greetings and welcome to the Armored Core Requiem season finale. In this video we're going to be taking a look at 3 different builds and then doing a 3v3 PvP test at the end. As of the time of this recording, this is before the new patch comes out tomorrow, or maybe today by the time you're watching this video. That introduces the ranking system, some new parts, some new changes, so this is before then. So this will be the final closing off of this chapter of Armored Core in the Requiem Eyes. But of course, this is not the end. I will be making a new season, Season 2 of Requiem. Plenty more builds to work on and many things to work out with the new patch and the new parts. Plenty of new things to learn for everyone. As well as I'll probably end up making a lot of content on the new leaderboard and ranking. Probably make some videos engaging in that PvP. But anyway, all is said, let's get on to the actual builds. Alright, for our first build, we have a lighter build with the intention of using the dual burst machine guns to build up stagger, as well as the missile launcher, the Balaam G206, to build up stagger and then punish from above using our reverse joints to get above and then punish with the earshot cannon, as its direct hit adjustment and punish potential is mighty. With the inner parts consisting of the coral booster for its all-round stats, which is pretty nice. Better for a heavier weight, which we definitely have put a bit of weight with our earshot, as well as our missiles and burst machine guns. Obviously the missile and burst machine guns are decently light with our frame to keep us at the 310 speed threshold. However, our stats do kind of reflect pretty badly with this, with only 1500 stability and 9000 health. 9500 health isn't that bad, especially for a lightweight, but considering our stability loss because of our legs not matching with our head, it is not very great with this booster. For the FCS, it primarily is in close range, as that is our range. However, we might as well go with the full close range assist, considering that is our main range. The only far range we'll be doing is firing the missiles and the grenade launcher, perhaps. But we're going to need to be close with our burst machine guns, as they are really close range. And for generator, Coral Gen. This is probably the best gen for a reverse joint-esque build, as you can deplete it, jump into the air, which doesn't cost any energy and will still send you flying as if it's a free dodge, and you'll regen your energy while midair because the generator does that. It's great with the fully depletion regeneration. And as per usual, I live streamed the actual creation of the Requiem variants for all of these builds. So yes, let's get on to what me and the chat consider to be a Requiem.
これがレクイエムだ。
And behold the Requiem. So we ended up switching out the burst machine guns, the Isugens, for the double Viento. These are amazing for building up high stagger, and they fire individual needles, so you don't really need to hold down. You pretty much just get close, spam the triggers, much like the stun guns. So the accuracy doesn't matter too much. We just need to be close enough within 130 meters, preferably about like 115, just so there's really no chance of missing. Fire them all out. They do incredible stagger, decent damage, but mainly stagger. We switch out to missiles for the plasma vertical missiles, as these have amazing tracking and almost always land, as well as they build up great stagger, which pairs with our weapons and our overall punish. Speaking of, we switch out the punish weapon from the earshot to a more close range, as it fits where we need to be in general, as we need to be close to attack the enemy, whether it's with the burst machine guns or now the Vientos. Might as well switch out to a melee, and what better melee for this ultimate punish than the Slicer, as it can be much more consistent than, say, the Pile Bunker, as well as we're sticking with the reverse joints, so Pile Bunker really won't be a choice with that. But Slicer is great, as we can get some lunge distance, and overall its high damage is insane, especially when we pair it with the Bastio arms. For the parts, the most important parts are the head being the Mind Beta, as it has max aptitude stability contribution, which should counteract the loss of aptitude stability with our legs, as reverse joints have some of the lowest aptitude stability contribution. As well as our arms being Bastio for the max melee spec will help with our melee being as good of a punish as it possibly can be, as well as our Vientos don't really lose their targeting when using the Bastio, as the Bastio has really bad firearm spec. It's fine though, because again, we just need to be close to fire, and the closer we are, the more likely we are to hit and less likely to miss. And for the inner part, switching the booster from Coral to a more lightweight focus booster, the Alula, as it has a much higher assault boost stat and is just better for more quick boosting and staying on the enemy's tail for this type of build to be very aggressive and get close. Normally I'd go for Bristle, but Bristle is about to be nerfed in the new patch, and Alula is basically the same, but not as much, as Bristle's max, but won't be max anymore with the new patch. It'll be much closer to Alula. Alula will become much more meta, but yeah, this is the best for what we're doing. Stay light, mobile, and stick close to the opponent. And for FCS, of course, max close range assist so that our Vientos land 90% of the time. And keeping the generator as Coral for all the same reasons, as well as expansion Pulse Armor. And for our second of 3 builds, we have another melee focused build, Lightweight Man. The idea of this build, much like the Requiem we just took a look at, is to use the Vientos to build up stagger as well as the Cherno, and together with their insane stagger build-up, break stance, keep light to stay close, and use the pile bunker as a finish. For the inner parts, for the booster, we have the G2 PD. This one corresponds or has the highest value in thrust, meaning movement speed. So that's pretty good for sticking close, whether you're on the ground or in the air, to get close to the opponent, because you do need to be quite close to pull off a pile bunker kill, as it does not have very much range. For the FCS, much like the last one, trying its best to have close range assist over everything else. I'm imagining this is chosen by the pilot because they don't have the full range or full close range assist FCS unlocked yet, but this is definitely something to strive towards. And for generator, the lesser Coral Gen. I don't know if this is chosen for weight or accessibility, again much like the FCS, but the difference isn't by a whole lot. Our boost speed doesn't go down by much. The thresholds that we're hitting above and below are 370, and the next would be 390, so we're kind of in a sweet spot where it doesn't really matter. You can play down to 370 with this type of boost speed, or sacrifice up to 390. Only with those two will you actually see a difference. Going 387 like this doesn't really matter a whole lot anyway. And for expansion, Terminal Armor.
これがレクイエムだ。
As you can see, we kept dual Vientos for the same purpose. Switched out the missile from Cherno to the Plasma missiles, as these again are just really good, really consistent, will land much more than the Cherno. Cherno aren't really what they used to be at launch. At launch, they used to be much better. Now they're easily dodgeable. They're much slower than they used to be. Less consistent, and might as well have something we don't have to stop the fire and just fire whenever they're ready. They come back really fast compared to the Cherno. Cherno comes back not super fast and takes a long time to lock on. Overall, this will be much better for building up stagger consistently, guaranteed. And melee punish, yet again, being the slicer. With the parts, we mainly try to get our strength up to at least 10k, 1700 stability, and boost speed at 350 threshold, which is very good, definitely in the higher speed thresholds. So you won't see too much of a difference in speed, but yeah, the main flow of the build shall remain true. Obviously switch the arms to Bastio for the max melee, so that our melee does even more damage. For the inner parts, much like the last Requiem build, as this is a very similar build, Alula, max close range FCS, and Coral Gen. And expansion, Assault Armor. Assault Armor or Pulse Armor are very good for this type of build. Terminal Armor is alright if you try to turn the tide with your last legs, but most of the time, if the enemy is knowledgeable and knows you have it, they will simply get you low and then just run away once your Terminal Armor pops, and then there's not really much you can do at that rate. They're going to run away. You can try to chip them off as they're running, but chances are they're just going to act sporadic, so you can't really hit them until your Terminal Armor wears off, and then they just shoot you with one bullet and you're dead. So it's better to have Assault Armor to turn the tide. Say you're stunned, they're going for like a close range punish. You pop this, now you get to do your close range punish. Or Pulse Armor to just fully negate it, especially if they're a more ranged build that will try to punch you at range. But yeah, your choice. I'd say Assault Armor is better for this type of build, as well as it adds some variety from the last build we did using Pulse Armor. Alrighty, last build to take a look at before we do the 3v3 PvP test, where we have 3 players as the Requiem and then 3 players as the prior versions, to duke it out to see which builds are indeed superior. Alrighty, the flow of this build is actually more complex than the last ones. The goal is to use the machine gun to build up stagger as well as the missiles, and use the melee to our explosive thrower to also break stagger, and use our bazooka to punish. It can also work either way, where you use the machine gun and missiles to build up stagger and the bazooka to finish it off, and then move in with the melee to do the actual stagger punish. But yeah, with the melee and the bazooka, we have far range and close range punishes, with the assault rifle being a alright damage, but mainly just a way to consistently build up stagger at a range or close, whether depending on what you are, as well as missiles. But yeah, for the parts, nothing too specific. Just mainly having some tankiness. Our speed is pretty low down there at 280, not preferable. 1800 stability, pretty good. Over 10k AP. Pretty dope. Defenses also looking pretty good overall. Everything's above 1100. Yeah, this build definitely has some nice survivability. It just doesn't really have the speed to catch up to enemies, which is a kind of a detriment when you have a melee that's designed to either shut down people getting close or you go in on the aggressive. And this build is described by the pilot or the creator to be very aggressive and just an in-your-face play style, which is a little counteracted by our further range assault rifle and missiles, but we'll try to make it work with Requiem. For the inner parts, one of the parts that are weighing this build down by quite a bit is the gills. The gills are really good for their consistent assault boost speed, or not assault boost speed, quick boost speed, so you can kind of spam boost a bunch, but they don't really carry you a whole lot of distance, especially not with our type of weight and our current speed right now. But I mean, they're alright, just not so great for this type of build. Max close range assist, that's pretty good considering we need to stay close enough to use our melee. However, with a bazooka and a rifle, it's not necessary. We could go a little bit half and half, so we have the option to fire at range and then move in while our stuff is cooling down. But yeah, close range assist for now. And generator Sentai. Very good generator for natural regeneration if you don't want to deplete it for the portal gen purposes. Pretty good if you want to stay grounded. And expansion, assault armor.
これがレクイエムだ。
And behold, Requiem. As you can see, we ended up switching out to the assault rifle for the Zimmerman shotgun, as it allows us to build up a lot more stagger consistently, which is great for keeping the enemy on its feet, as well as it pairs nicely with our synergy of other weapons. Keeping the explosive thrower, as it is a main staple of the build, and it helps with our overall synergy of being super aggressive. Switching out the Javelin Alpha Bazooka for the Majestic, as the Majestic is much faster, less strength, but it is much faster. We can fire it more consistently, and it is much lighter, allowing us to pair on or add on extra things, extra heavier weapons, or any weapons we really want, as well as tankier parts to be fast, but be fast enough to get up close and be aggressive, but be tanky enough to take the hits in our trades, in our journey of just being in their face and dealing as much damage as possible. Switching out the missile launcher, considering we'll be at close range for the most part anyway, we're switching to the bullet orbit, as it will help build up a lot of stagger, as well as do some pretty nice direct hit adjustment. Overall, just keeping up the variety of how many things we can throw at the opponent while in their face to keep them on the pressure, or keep the pressure on them rather. For the parts, just prioritizing a lot of tankiness while keeping us at the 310 speed threshold. For booster, the Alula, again, the Alula is going to become very prevalent within the new patch, and it is going to be very good for staying close to the enemy, as well as allowing us to dodge around a lot while anything is on cooldown, like our bazooka, even as pretty much we'll be able to just fire our Zimmerman and melee constantly, but this should allow us to keep up with our enemies no matter who they are. And for FCS, max close range, so we're using a shotgun. Switching out the generator to the Coral Gen, as it will allow us to again keep up the pressure, keep chasing down our enemies without much downtime. And one less thing to worry about, instead of managing your energy, instead you can just use it until depletion and wait a couple seconds for it to all come back and get going again. And for expansion, assault armor. Alright, and those are the Prior and Requiem variants of all three builds we're taking a look at. I will now try to get some people from the Xbox Fight Club Discord to help me out with the 3v3 test. I'll get back to you when I get the people lined up. Okay, so I wasn't able to get 5 other people for a 3v3. Almost had enough people, but you know, it is the holidays. People are busy. People are going through the new update that just released today. As of the time of this recording, I'm recording this a day after from the last recording. But it's still, the builds are still optimized even in this new setting. They still perform well as they should, so not too much of a difference. But lots of new parts, lots of new maps. Some of the maps we're going to be showing off. I'm going to be doing the the 1v1s, that's right. The 1v1 variant of the usual, just having 3 builds against the 3 counters in a 1v1. Me and Hopeless Gaming, another content creator, a Twitch streamer, who's also in the Xbox Fight Club Discord. Very cool guy, very nice to help me out. Big ups to that man for sure. Link to his Twitch will definitely be in the description of this video. I recommend it. Very fun times. But yeah, we're just gonna do the 1v1 format, like usual. And yeah, alright, enough said. Enjoy the fights. Alrighty, first build. Requiem versus the original. Let's see how it goes. Let's get it going. Good God. God, the angle. That wee bit. The angle with the slicer is always so wacky sometimes, man. Good. Oh, no, just barely. Oh. GG. Alrighty, match 2, build 2. I'm using Requiem. My opponent is using the original variant of this build. You know how it goes. Nope. Good one. I don't even know what this is. Oh no, salt, okay. I didn't know that. Good bug? No, it's plus. Seen that one coming. Yeah. Good bug. Depends. Well, the random needle hits. Okay, third. You activate it. What do you mean? What? Alrighty, final round. One of the new maps. Final build. Let's see how it does. Hell yeah. This map looks sick. It's the dunes, but where the worm was, or not the worm, the strider. It looks sick though. Let's do it. Good job. You can put on fidelity mode, but yeah.
Oh, so close. Honestly, yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, this is definitely one of the this is one of the cases where it's less about the build and its identity being evolved to something completely different. The metamorphosis is more of just the overall weapons themselves being swapped out to more functional, more practical parts. So very similar. Yeah, look at that.
Oh, the reversal.
It's just a game of chicken if who uses theirs first at that rate. Yes, sir. No way. Oh, GG. There it is. I think we conclude these are well upwards. Me and the chat discovered good fixes. And there it is, the final battle of the season finale of Armored Core Requiem. I'm going to be obviously continuing this into Season 2 with the new update of Armored Core, taking advantage of the new weapons, parts, balance changes, all the cool stuff. So lots more is to learn, lots more is to do. I'm definitely going to be climbing the new ranked game mode. That looks very fun. I plan on climbing all the way up to S rank, as I feel as I'm going to go at it. I might as well go all the way, indubitably. Let me know if you guys want me to make like a video series or live stream my journey to S rank. I think I might just go to S rank off camera, make lots of builds while doing it, and then make some build videos on those builds that got me to those ranks. But at the end of the day, it's all about what you guys want to see. I did my best to make this video as short as possible, while also keeping in all of the most important bits of the builds. So hopefully I've accomplished that goal, and this video isn't like 30 minutes. But yeah, I appreciate every one of you. Thank you all for the amazing comments. I'll do my best to try to get through them all. And I was actually thinking, and I want you guys' opinion on this, and I'll probably end up making a poll after this video goes up for more feedback. So vote there if that's your opinion. I'm thinking about expanding the Requiem workshop, so to speak. Getting on some other content creators in this series to help me build more people's mechs, because there are a lot of them. I've opened up Pandora's box. There are a lot of you that want your builds optimized and need a little bit of help. And I'm only one man, obviously, and I want to do other projects too. So I would, yeah, let me know if you guys would like me to bring on more people, and if you guys are comfortable with me allowing them to upgrade your builds for you and give them a shot to see what they can do. Obviously, I would only be offering these positions to people I truly believe could make your builds better. So yeah, let me know if you would like to see that. You'll have to go obviously to their streams or to their videos. I'll have them linked in every episode of mine, as well as I'm sure they'll have theirs for mine. Links, of course. But yeah, let me know if you'd like that. If you'd like it all just to go through me, or you'd like me to bring out some extra people to help out get to more of your builds, indubitably. But yeah, again, enough rambling. All this said, you have a very good one. Thank you very much for watching. Peace out, and I'll see you in Season 2 of Requiem.